Hi, it's Arthur here. Now, I'm driving my 2001 Toyota Corolla. We're going to see what's so special about this Toyota Corolla. It's a manual. It has a manual transmission, 5 gears. Normally what they say is 5-speed. So anyway, today I want to talk about, is it 6 categories of cars you should not buy when in Uganda. But we're going to do this as we drive. So I'll just turn. I love driving manual cars. Anyway, 5 categories of cars you don't ever want to buy when you're buying a car in Uganda. It does not matter whether the car is new or used. These are cars you don't want to buy. Category number 1. Now, there are so many reasons why you don't want to buy those cars. One, they may not be reliable. They may not move you around and in a good way like you want. One category is cars found in the village. Now, why you don't want to buy a car? If the owner of the car, or if the car is found 35 kilometers from the central business district of Kampala, you don't want to buy that car. Now, ask me why. Now, a car that is in the village, past Mukono, past Wachiso, past what's that, Bulenga, if you go past those areas, past Mpiji, most of the times those cars, yes, the owners may try to maintain, but they can't maintain very properly. Now, even if they wanted to maintain, the spare parts in those places are limited. You will find that they have spares for a particular kind of car, but they don't have spares for that particular car and the kinds of cars that we are normally interested in buying. So you don't want to buy a car from the village. 2, people in the village are normally not so rich. No. Even if you found someone who is rich, they are probably misers. They don't want to spend a lot of money on the car. They would rather spend money on their cow, or they would rather spend money on their house, or they would rather spend money on their garden. They're not going to spend money on a car. They will drive it because, first of all, in the village, it's very rare for a car to break down because they don't drive long distances. He will drive from home 1 kilometer at most to the town where he goes to drink his beer or malua. So he will not have a reason to actually maintain some things. Some of the things you will find that you need to replace immediately when you buy a car from the village. You'll have to replace all the shocks. You'll have to replace all the bushes. You'll have to replace almost everything. So you're going to almost be buying another car at the same price by repairing the things that you have to repair from that car. Now, you don't want to buy a car from the village. No. That's a no-go zone. If you want to buy a car from town, okay? Buy a car from Kampala, Mukono, Wachiso. Don't go past Mpiji. No. If you at any time go past Mpiji, my dear, you're wasting your money. You want to stay in the Kampala Central Business District if possible. Well, the second category of cars you don't want to buy are cars that have been parked for a long time. Yes. Now, if a car's been parked for more than 5 months, ask yourself, why has the owner parked that car for 5 months? Who doesn't want to drive a car? For sure, everybody loves cars. I mean, women love cars, men love cars, old men love cars, old women love cars. Even Jesus loved cars. You see, there's a time he came to was it Jerusalem? He was riding on a mule. Was it a horse, a mule, a donkey? Yeah, he loved cars. Well, cars were not yet invented then. But you see, even in the times of Shakespeare, people loved the cars. They had those things that they used to ride, the wooden... Everybody loves cars. So for the love of cars, don't buy a car that has been parked for more than 5 months. There is a reason why that person failed to drive it for 5 months, because no one that bought their car will fail to drive it for 5 months. Okay? So you're going to almost repair the same things that you'll repair in a car that was bought from the village. So please don't buy a car that has been parked for more than 5 months. I would actually recommend even 3 months, don't buy. That's a bad decision. Don't buy a car that has been parked. You'll find that the computer you'll even find things that were stolen out of that car. The computer, the CPU of the car, the control unit, you'll find that it's stolen. You'll find that these buttons have been stolen. You'll find that the radio has been stolen. You'll find that shocks were replaced. When you buy a car that's been parked for a long time, the first thing you're going to have to work on is the tires. It doesn't matter whether they still tread on the tires, whether they still have pressure, you're going to buy new tires. Trust me, if you don't buy new tires, when you bought a car that has been parked for a long time, they will burst on you when you're driving. Don't buy a car that has been parked for even more than 2 months. Why did this person? Yeah? Is it that the fuel was so expensive? I'm driving my fuel right now, and the fuel is really expensive. 6,000 shillings. 6,000. Today I bought the fuel at 6,390 Ugandan shillings. That's a lot of money, but I bought it and I drove to work and back. Don't buy a car that has been parked for a long time. Number 3, don't buy a car from almost all brokers. If a car has brokers involved, try as much as possible not to buy a car that has brokers involved, because chances are high that brokers have doubled the price. The owner will be selling 3 to 4 million, the brokers will sell 8. The owner will be selling 10 million, the brokers will say 18. So you want to try as much as possible. And if there are brokers involved, try as much as possible and find out the owner of that car. Okay? Find the owner of that car and talk to them man to man, or man to woman, or woman to woman. Well, there are so many sexual orientations that are coming now. So I don't know what sexual orientation you're going to be dealing with, but try as much as possible to eliminate brokers. That way you're going to get the right price. Okay? You'll get the right price and you'll buy a car that you know, because normally owners don't lie about pre-existing conditions. If a car, for example, has an engine problem, a broker will not tell you, but the owner will tell you that this car has such and such an issue. Okay, so try as much as possible to eliminate brokers when you want to buy a car. That's number 3. Well, let's go. The other category of cars you don't want to buy is a car where you cannot get transfer forms immediately. Okay, you want to make sure that you buy a car where the owner will give you transfer forms immediately. Okay, if you can't get transfer forms, don't buy that car. It's going to be problematic. These days, there used to be the green logbooks, and they were booklets. And now, every car is, you're required to drive a car that has the new computerized logbooks. And that one, a car owner can generate it directly from their tin. They log into the tin and then they generate the logbook. So, and that is a safer way to own a car, because someone cannot just go and transfer your car to their names. So you have to make sure that the car is transferable, okay, immediately. The person gives you transfer forms, you go to URA, you pay about I think 85,000, and then the car is transferred to your names. But you also have to make sure you have a TIN number. If you don't know what a TIN number is, I'll have a video for that. And you can also learn where to get your TIN numbers and what the TIN number is for. So you need to have a TIN number. They need to have a TIN number, an active TIN, then they transfer the car to you. Normally, if you find a car that has a new logbook and you can't get transfer forms, chances are high that it has a caveat. Now, it has a caveat. It means the owner of the car either got a loan from the bank and did not pay the loan. And the bank still says, okay, you still owe us money, so you cannot transfer this car to someone else until you pay us our money. Or chances are high that this car was stolen and the owner of the car probably, or someone, went to court and the logbook was caveated. So it means that car cannot be transferred. So make sure you get transfer forms. Don't buy a car that doesn't have ready transfer forms. Okay? Now, the other category of cars you don't want to buy. Don't buy a car that has a green logbook. No. That's a very bad decision. You need to buy a car that has a computerized logbook. There are papers, pieces of paper. Okay? And because sometimes you may buy a car where the owner probably forgot their PIN number and they forgot their password, so they have to go to your area, do some business and get it changed so that they can give you transfer forms. And then you really want this car, so you want to be patient. So if you want to be that kind of person that is patient with the car owner, it's okay. You can wait. but make sure the car is not in the green logbook. The white logbook, that's okay. But the green logbook, you will find yourself that you have to take the car to URA for inspection. Now, if your car is taken to URA for inspection, if anything changed, if the logbook says that the car is silver, and somehow someone put a white line over the roof or over the bonnets or something, then, my dear, the car is going to be retained by URA, okay? And you don't want to buy a car that's going to be retained by URA. That's why it's always important for you to buy a car that has a green, that has a white or computerized logbook. Now, you don't want to buy a car where it had its original color change. For example, it was white and then they made silver, it was black, and then probably the guy that owned the car before you wanted blue, and then they made it blue, or the logbook says it's white, but then some parts are black. You don't want to buy that car. No. That's a risk. You'll have to go to URA and then report this, and sometime you may get pulled over by a chido. What we call a chido is many traffic officers stopping in one place and then starting to arrest perpetrators of traffic laws. So if your car has multiple colors, it better show in the logbook that there are multiple colors allowed on this car, okay? So you want to buy a car that has a color that is also indicated in the logbook. Silver, let the car be silver. Black, let the car be black, okay? Make sure that it's there. Don't buy a car that has multiple colors and you don't see the multiple colors in the logbook. Okay, if you have to buy that car and you really want it, buy it. But make sure you deduct the amount that you're going to use to respray the car. Now, the very last category of cars you don't want to buy. If someone is selling a car and they say it's lady driven, don't buy. Yes, don't buy. If someone says you better buy this car because it's a woman that has been driving this car, don't buy. It's a very bad investment. I mean, women are the worst drivers ever. I mean, majority of the women that I've seen knock or scratch another car on their first day. Now, this doesn't normally happen with the men, and probably women are just scared of the road. They're scared of the car or something. Now, if someone actually scratches another car the first day they're driving, it doesn't mean they're a bad driver. It may be something to do with our ladies, right? Or with our roads. Whatever it is, don't buy a car where the selling point is it's lady driven. That's a bad investment. Don't buy the cars I've told you not to buy. Otherwise, you're going to regret it. Don't buy village cars. Don't buy cars from almost all brokers. Okay, don't also buy cars from those bonds down there. One thing you need to know about cars that are being sold in those small used car bonds down in your village is that if I'm selling a car and I fail to sell it to buyers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive that car, take it to that bond, and get the best offer I can. Now, those guys don't care. They will wash the car, they will park it. Okay? Now, if they park that car, they're not going to. They will not experience anything. If my car is overheating or if it has very many leakages, they don't care. What they do is they buy as cheap as they can and park and then wash. What they know best is to wash. They will wash the car. You will find it to be very, very clean. Okay? And then because we want things that look good, you will just buy the car. So those used car, okay, not just used, very used car bonds, because normally in those places, the Nakawa bonds, the Chambogo bonds, they have used cars. Now these bonds in our villages are very used cars. So you want to be very, very careful if you're buying a car from there. Make sure you don't buy the cars I've talked about. Peace.